That way the business is open longer and it's staggered, so you're not stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And Bridgeport doesn't have traffic problems. In the times I've been there, do you have any traffic problems?
Not in particularly. No, we're pretty good with the traffic. That we're holding on. So right now we're pretty good with the traffic. You can get in and out of Bridgeport relatively easily.
And that really is a deciding factor for a lot of people where
Absolutely.
they go. Where they go, because I know I avoid King of Prussia like the plague. It's like I try and time it when I go in there.
Yeah, depending on when you're leaving. I'm right there with you. If I'm going somewhere, I'm not going. I don't want to deal with the traffic. It is a deciding factor on whether or not I decide to go.
And when you talk about the police department, well, you got Bridgeport there. You've got King of Prussia on the one side, and then you got Norristown on the other side. So you got problems rolling over hill,
Yeah, I mean that's very true. I mean that's pretty much factual. I mean, I'll tell you just from being in the department. I mean, we do see that, no doubt. But like I said, our police department, fortunately, we got some good guys and gal down there that hold us down.
Shannon?
Officer Shannon.
She's good.
Yeah, she is good. She's one of the best, no doubt.
Yeah, it's a good area, and I know it seems like you're having a problem now, but I don't think you have a problem. You get the right developer there, right by the water and everything, and they'll just come along and just put up giant buildings and $40 hot dogs and
bring it all.
And then you'll be regretting it. What have I done?
Of course. There's no turning back now.
There's no turning back. What have I done? How old is Bridgeport?
I want to say 170 years or so. I could be wrong.
What did they manufacture there originally? What kind of things?
$40 hot dogs?
No, especially not then. But, I don't know the answer to that. I'll have to.
The mayor doesn't know the answer to that.
I know. How horrible is that?
I know there's a bunch of industrial plants
right,
there.
Thank God this is the after show.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we asked the mayor all the questions on numbers and all the math. What I was just reading, we talked about it. What was your first official proclamation as mayor?
Well,
the bold leap.
Drum roll, please.
The bold leap that you took.
I know. I tell you, I had to think long and hard about it because it's a very polarizing issue in town. But the first proclamation was declaring that this week, the week of January 29th, this is hot off the press, people, is going to be Eagles Week in Bridgeport.
I saw that. I said, what a safe move to make. Declared Eagles Week. And then since you were the first one to do it, other people were copying it after that.
I didn't see that yet, but
I've seen them sharing yours and stuff.
Oh yeah. And that should be interesting. I think that would be really cool if it could capture the attention of someone affiliated with the Eagles. But I really appreciate the Bridgeport Hall of Fame doing the research to find that out about
the Eagles corporate office being there for years.
Yeah, from Mr. Leonard Toast, who used to live in Bridgeport and who is from Bridgeport.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's really cool. We have that little piece of Eagles history right in our own little town.
You have any plans if they win? What you're going to do? Are they greasing any poles in Bridgeport?
I do think we're going to have to grease them. But there's no definitive plans. I've heard a lot of different things about there being a parade on 4th Street and the kind of crazy things that people will do if we win. But there's nothing definitive yet. But it's still early. We still got a couple days.
Wouldn't the Bridgeport parade be short? I mean, kind of like a snake eating its own tail. You can only go so far, We
would wrap it around. We would wrap it around. We're going through alleyways. We're going through the streets. We will make it all night long.
Climbing over fences.
Yes, we will do what we have to do.
What would you say to people that's a part of the job that you didn't realize was a part of the job? Other than the whole police chief thing you've been stuck with.
Right. The one thing I didn't realize, I think I just underestimated the amount. I think I underestimated the questions that you would get from people that are completely unrelated to the job. That's probably the one thing. Like, I felt like, I've been on council. I feel really confident in what I know about where we stand economically and answer people's questions and getting them to the right people to get the things that they need done in the municipality. I still feel really confident in my knowledge of all of that. But those aren't the questions that you get. The questions that you get are completely unrelated.
Weirdest question you've ever gotten.
Yeah. Weirdest questions I've ever gotten. Don't make me choose. It's like a really weird one. And you know what? It's not so much that they're weird as much as it is that they're just not, like I said, not
relevant.
Yeah, they're just not relevant. Like, they're not anything that, like, I have any control over. Like, do you know where, like, like stuff that I can see where people, do you know where I can get an apartment? Do you know anybody who's selling a used car? Like,
I could kind of stretch and see the apartment.
Right.
Maybe,
I can kind of stretch
but not
and
the
see
used
the
car.
Right. Like, I'm not a used car salesman. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Yeah.
People that, like, you don't know who are, like, you're reaching out to me for that? Wouldn't it have been easier to just Google that?
Somebody called you about that?
They emailed me about it. You get a lot of emails. No one ever calls. And I put out my number all the time because I encourage people to call. I encourage people to contact me any way you can. But yeah, probably where can I get a used car? That was an odd one, especially being from somebody who, like I said, I don't know personally. I'm like, did you mean to send this to me?
So it's easier to send it to you than to Google used car Bridgeport.
Yes, some of the questions I'm like, you sure? You want to ask me that? I don't know. But you can't say that. You don't want the answer to be, I don't know. I'm like, I guess it would depend on the make and model you're looking for.
So wait, you have to give them some semi-official, like, mayoral used car answer?
That I feel obligated to do it. You know what I mean?
Used car lot?
Right, exactly. No,
that's what I would reply.
Right, exactly.
Hey, I so want to make up a fake email address and ask him, do you think I should get a Ford or a Chevy? Just to get a mayoral answer back on what brand.
I think Ford would probably be your best bet in my personal opinion. However, I drive a Jeep, so I can't really speak to either. I drove a Chevy years ago, Geo Tracker.
A Geo Tracker? Oh my God.
My first car. Those are the good old days.
Everybody's first car, nobody's second car.
That's right.
So you're familiar.
Yeah. My buddy had a Geo Tracker. Had all the windows busted in it, except for one. Somebody broke in to steal the radio through the unbroken window. Took out his little AM FM radio. It was horrible.
That's a shame.
That car was horrible, and it wouldn't die.
No, they took it. No,
yeah,
it was holding on.
No, it just stayed there.
It's a trooper.
It just stayed there to keep you in a constant state of humiliation.
Oh, seriously, that's so true.
Yeah.
So true. It's broken down so many times.
The
that car
roach
broke
of
down.
Cars.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it sucks. Cars suck.
You never go back to a Tracker, would you?
No. God willing, I'll never have to.
The Bridgeport, are there any of the industries that were there still there? Any industrial things?
Industrial, not quite.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of businesses, they come and go as well, but originally rooted, not in particularly.
And that happens because when you get old school stuff that's by the water and all times change, and it's kind of like that in Manayunk too. And I keep comparing it to Manayunk because they're similar.
No, I agree. They're absolutely similar.
I think Bridgeport's got it's not as bad parking or driving. it isn't a hilly death trap in the winter.
True.
Manioc is a death trap.
Oh, in the summertime, I think about how horrifying it must be to drive over there. And never mind the ice and the snow, the rain. I mean, the hills are so ridiculously steep.
Well, it's bad hills and two-way narrow streets.
Yeah.
And I was going out with somebody for a while, and she had a place there, and you always tried to park at the bottom of the hill when it snowed. That's the trick. Get that furthest spot at the bottom of the hill. And what happened was you look out the window and you just see cars sliding down into parked cars.
Really? I can only imagine. I feel like I don't know how they wouldn't.
Bridgeport's flatter.
We are flatter. We got some hills. We do have some hills, but nothing in comparison to Manioc.
So you don't have the traffic of King of Prussia. And you don't have the hills of Manioc.
Come on down.
You should focus. Yeah, come on down.
I'm trying to tell people you better get in while you still can.
That's right. Yeah. Do you go out and solicit people? Like you see mayors going to different places. Do you do that?
I haven't yet. And you know, the only
you could do
reason.
Like a junket to China or something like that.
You know, I haven't yet. And that's certainly something that I would be willing to do. But my powers in that regard are somewhat limited being the mayor. You know, I don't really have a vote on council. So those are the sort of things that, you know, I may think it's a great idea to come into town. But if council doesn't vote on it, I don't. Unfortunately, I have no say.
So the mayor is more of a tiebreaker.
Correct. Mayor does make tie-breaking votes on council, which never happened while I was on council, but I've heard of it happening in the past.
And there's 7 people on council.
7.
And council is everywhere. It's political.
Yeah, definitely.
And politics are good and bad. And do all the council members live in the town? Is that a requirement?
Yep. All council members live in the town. We have 2 for each. Bridgeport is broken up into 3 wards, 2 for each ward, and one at-large council person.
Are they all reelected the same year?
No.
So staggered.
Yep.
That's
every 2 years, the 4 council people are up. So the 3 of the wards are up every 2 years. One of the 2. And then the at-large seat is up every 2 years.
Are they term limited?
They are not term limited.
Is the mayor term limited?
Mayor is not term limited.
Oh, you could just be there forever.
I could theoretically be there forever.
That's interesting. That's interesting. And you said it didn't cost you a whole lot to run for mayor.
No, you know, it
costs a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely costs a lot. I mean, it's not anything, you know, I'm not like, I'll get it on my next paycheck. I don't, and some people can do that. Just, I don't have that sort of job, to be clear. But yeah, no, I mean, it was, like I said, probably a couple thousand. I mean, we ran on a slate, myself and 3 other council candidates at the time, who fortunately all won. Shout out to Kyle Shank, Tony Heil, and Beth Jaxier. But but no, for Bridgeport, it really wasn't too much because Bridgeport's a relatively small town. We're row housing, so you can get a lot of door knocking in a little bit of time. You can get a lot of people at once. You see a lot of people. You're able to do a lot of campaigning without any money.
So you got 3 that are already in your posse. You only need 1 more. I see how the plan's going here. You only need 1 more to get a majority on any decision.
I don't know that I would say that's the plan. I don't know that it quite works that way. In a perfect world. In a perfect world, it would absolutely work that way.
And you said your regular job. I don't think people realize it.
Yes.
Like I said, this is part-time. You got a regular job.
Yes, to be clear, yeah, the mayor in a small, as I understand it, based on Pennsylvania Borough Code, I had to look this up. I had to know why. How do they decide? Because I tell you, it is a lot of work. It's a lot more work than I anticipated.
Population or square miles?
Population.
Yeah.
If it's less than 15,000, it's absolutely a part-time job. Even then, it depends on how many. But if it's less than 15,000, it's absolutely a part-time job. So my full-time job is over at the courthouse. I work at the courthouse during the day in the Prothonotari's office, and then part-time I work at Maggiano's.
Do all those mayors of the small towns work at the courthouse?
No, just Gene Sorg, who's